Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with three-time world champion Joe Schilling, and I think owner of the fastest knockout, maybe in the history of the world, and also owner of.
Cool, you looked that up. Right?
Shut up, and also the only American to be global combat champion. Is that a fun fact?
Yeah,
is that fair?
I think that's.
You're looking down at your camo pants. You're so modest. Do you know what I think about when I think about you? Rogan has a framed picture of you in his studio, and you have a cigarette in your mouth after a fight. And I feel like you are the kind of guy that novelists would write about. There's something very romantic about a dude who's a killer in a ring who punches and kicks people unconscious, but then has a cigarette.
He's like the Clint Eastwood of fighting.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Like a guy's guy.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'll take that. Do you really smoke cigarettes like all the time?
I do.
I do.
It seems to be like always the topic, that everyone talks about.
Dude, if I'm Marlboro or whoever makes cigarettes, you're the poster boy.
I agree.
I'm gonna be like, look at this dude.
I agree.
He's fine. He's smoking.
Dude,
his cardio's good.
Swear to God, it makes me kind of want to smoke a little bit. It's a bad habit.
How long have you been smoking?
I started when I was like 12.
12.
I've smoked like
there you go.
Yeah.
You've smoked your whole life, and then none of your coaches were like, hey, man, maybe let's chill out on the cigarettes after
all
training.
Of my coaches I've ever had have been that way. And then my current coach, I've been with since I was still an amateur. He made me quit for my last amateur fight. I was 23-0 at the time, and we ended up getting robbed out of a decision. But that was the only fight that I quit smoking for. We quit for 3 months, did tons of cardio, and after the second round, they're like, "Seconds out," and I was like, "I can't stand up. My legs were locked out."
And so then he was like, "You know what? Just keep doing what you're doing."
I do whatever the fuck you're doing. And then really, the more successful I became, and the more I proved, I don't prove. Smoking is not good. I'm not saying that you should smoke.
But it works for, and I always say this, but it works for Joe Schilling.
Right.
It works for you.
Right.
So I think people tend to think, oh, he's a world champion, so all world champions have to do it like this. It's like, no, man. You talk to a lot of successful, whether it's athletes, fighters, businessmen, everyone kind of has their own path. Mm-hmm. So if smoking's good for you, do it, man.
Well, man, I don't think I think it's separate. You know what I mean? I don't think I wouldn't say that smoking helps me fight or it works for
disagree.
me. You know what I mean? I just think that it's who I am and what I do.
You just don't put anything on it.
I work really hard, No, everyone talks about you smoke cigarettes, but nobody talks about I've ran a 5:15 mile, or that I ran 5 miles yesterday, or that I worked my ass off. It's
see, that's a little
smokes
weird.
Cigarettes, he doesn't take it serious.
No, see, I'm saying you put in the work and you have this elite skill set, but then you also smoke because for whatever reason that's you. Maybe it relaxes you, maybe it makes you more creative, maybe it's your way of just kind of, I don't know, man, dealing with the pressure of fighting, but it's you. And now if we said, all right, Joe, put on some Dockers and wear a blazer and no more smoking, I don't think you're the same fighter.
It's like what you were talking about with John Jones the other day.
I don't think you're the same fighter.
I listened to that this morning.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I think Joe Schilling we look at you like this American badass, smoke cigarettes, world champion.
All right.
There's only one though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now if kids are listening to this, they're like, I'm gonna go smoke cigarettes. Let me know how your sparring goes.
Exactly.
It's gonna be terrible.
Well, do you think mindset wise, I'm always curious about guys who have to deal with the pressure of competition, especially striking, because the margin for error is pretty small when you get to your level. Is there a mindset that you feel like you've gotten yourself into or had to learn, like a competition mindset where you kind of had to learn how to relax or learn how to forget all of it? Do you feel like you've gotten to a place like that, or is it always a struggle before competition?
I think I've gotten to, right now, more of a closer pinnacle to that place than I ever had before, but I think you're constantly working on that. I think it's, I wouldn't say smoking has had anything to do with that. I think just overall, the more experience you have, the more, I'm the type of guy that goes out of my way. I hired a mind coach. I get hypnotized before a fight. I take on it. I'm always looking for this other little edge mentally.
Yes, sir.
Because such a huge part of the fight is mental. But I think my life in general, especially with kickboxing, just most of my life has been, I've come to a mindset where I don't really care what anybody else tells me. I'm going to do what I need to do and the more I constantly prove them wrong, which goes back to about my coach. Yeah. The more you constantly prove yourself and prove everyone else wrong, the more that confidence builds to where
The only problem,
if I smoke a cigarette, it's because I feel like smoking a cigarette. It's
But
I
also think your coach realizes what works for you.
Oh,
so I think they're less, you're like, hey Joe, do it this way. Thinking like, man, whatever he's doing is working.
Yeah.
Maybe we can guide you in this. But as far as that over there, keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a constant. Everybody rolls their eyes or has something to say. I mean, my coaches aren't like, yeah, here you go, like whatever. But
here's a cigarette, my friend. You've earned it. I know you've talked a lot about that, but that kind of stuff is so interesting to me. Just kind of.
And we fight 9 minutes. I mean, it's 9 minutes. People act like we're running ultra marathons. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think, and that 9 minutes.
It's a long ass time, though, brother.
No, it's a brutal 9 minutes, but it's like I think your mindset has more to. I think it was Roy Jones Jr. said that endurance is a mindset. Yeah. I think that everybody gets tired, whether you smoke or I smoke.
You
or
said
whatever.
that, right?
If we get on a track, everybody's getting tired.
Every single person.
And somebody's going to quit when they get tired, and somebody isn't.
Yeah. You said, I've seen Brendan always talk about that.
Yeah, Brian,
like you love when
we'll watch
fights,
and they'll be going to the third round, and Brian will say something. It's normal. He'll go, "Oh, he looks tired," and I tell Brian every time, I go, "Look at me. Both of them are tired. Mm-hmm. One guy's a good actor, but they're both tired. One guy's pushing through it. But if it's a 5-round fight and you're in that 5th round, trust me, I don't care if Lance Armstrong was pumping full of whatever.
Yeah,
he's tired.
You're tired,
100%.
And then like that first fight that I quit smoking that I lost when I was an amateur, maybe my mindset was I'm not going to get tired because I went above and beyond this time, and I quit smoking and blah blah blah, and I didn't pace right or didn't perform right and got gassed out.
I've thought about this because as far as like Muay Thai and kickboxing goes, I don't know that world. So how, like, let's say you have a huge fight coming up, how often are you sparring full go?
Well, I think that's part of like where I said my mindset now has changed. It changes every fight. I think I used to spar full go all the time, and then your sparring partners get hurt and you don't get as much work, and then also you become dependent on that particular style. And now I spar with different sparring partners. I've done this for the last couple of years. We have like 3 different sparring partners. Casey Green has been one of my sparring partners for this camp. Jake Poss has given me a lot of work over the years, and Brian Bruns. And
is Casey Green a heavyweight?
Casey Green fights at 170.
Okay.
Close both MMA and kickboxing, but he's doing really well with Glory Kickboxing right now. He's in that the welterweight tournament next week.
Yeah, all animals, man. But I feel like you get to a certain level. Like in MMA, when we're coming up, it was a big deal, like to spar all the time. Mm-hmm. But there comes a certain level, especially in football too, where everyone's tough, everyone's good, man. So sparring to me, it almost came down to this toughness. But to a certain point, there's not too many more skills you can learn. We all know you got to this point being a world champion. You don't need to damage the body. I feel like
that's how it definitely used to be. And I think the less you know and less experience you have, the more. Just work hard.
Yeah, man.
But I try to get myself across that camp to a certain pinnacle by fight night. That's what I'm trying to get at, So I'll spar, hard enough that I feel like I'm controlling the situation and I'm stopping and I'm putting enough into it. But sometimes I'll only work on one certain aspect of my game with that whole sparring session. You know what I mean? Or I'll bring in a different guy with a different style and work on different aspects of the game so that on fight night I can put all of that together and I'm sharp. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, what's crazy to me is when you decide to do MMA, I was like, what the hell is he? Because you're dominating, in kickboxing. You got some balls to do some MMA because a guy of your caliber, it takes a certain ego to say, all right, let me try out this MMA game because I don't give a fuck if you're Anderson Silva, if you're even Manoff. If I'm fighting a guy like you, if I'm a 2-stripe white belt, I'm not standing with your ass.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Have you seen what he does in gloves?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I might love my stand-up.
Right.
But if
I'm diving for your ankles.
If we fight MMA, man, I'm jumping the guard trying to sweep you. I'm not going to put up with it.
Right.
So when I saw you do that, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing, man?
Yeah, it wasn't really balls. It was just like, I come from like with where MMA is at now, there's so much more money and it's a huge business and people pay attention to it. Just recently, kickboxing became something people are paying attention to and the money is just not there. And, I'm a fighter and professional fighter. That's my job. So if I can make money in any type of fighting, that's the opportunities that I had to take them.
You're just a fighter overall.
Yeah, and like honestly with MMA, like because of because of how well known I am for kickboxing, there was no amateur MMA for me. There was no small level shows. You know, my first MMA fight was Elite XC on like 2 weeks notice, and it was like against Matt Mikowski. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, he's not gonna take me down, and like he took me down immediately. And, you know? And it was like I got submitted in the first round, and the next time I did it, there wasn't any fights, and I needed money, and I guess something came my way, and I had 2 kids, and it was like, okay, I want to do it again, and then coming back into it with Bellator, it's at such a high level now, you know, that there's a learning curve to it, but I enjoy it, and it's not something that. I mean, I'm not going to have a perfect record, but I'm going to put on some fucking really exciting fights.
It's exciting.
I'm going to make good money, and people are going to remember my name. And that's really what it's all about.
The issue I have with it is, if I'm Bellator matchmaker, you're getting just stand-up guys. I don't want to see Joe Schilling versus a wrestler. I don't give a fuck. We know your background. You're getting a guy who's going to sit there toe-to-toe. Someone's getting knocked down. It's typically going to be the other guy. Like, if you see his Manhoff fight.
One, though. After that fight, Manhoff was the perfect opponent, right? That was an exciting.
He even shot. He even tried taking you down. Manhoff. Melvin was like, oh, fuck. Didn't even know what to do. Like, shot the shitty double. I was like, all right, well, there you go. Now everyone else sees that. If I can grapple at all, if I wrestled 1 year in high school, I'm double-legging your ass.
I'm definitely not standing there getting leg kicked by Manhoff.
And then after that, they were like, well, fuck. You know, even Mel Manhoff wouldn't do it. So they're like, Rafael Calvaro was like 11-0 or 11-1 or something like that. And, you know, it was a striker. It was his whole game, kickboxer from Brazil. And we fought, and he laid and prayed the whole fight, took me down, stayed on top. And what pissed me off about that is even a fucking kickboxer could take me down and hold me down and make a board fight out of it. Like, that shit, it wasn't even that I lost. I still think I won that fight, but like, that was what really pissed me off.
It's a different language.
And then I was like, okay, I have to do this shit. I need to get better at it. And I went to American Top Team to help out Thiago Alves with sparring.
All the way in Coconut Creek, Florida?
Yeah.
Thiago's my boy.
Yeah, Thiago's awesome.
Great guy.
When he fought Condit, he brought me out for sparring. And I was there, and it was like, there's like 70 pros on the mat. There's like 4 Olympic level wrestling coaches. They got 18 black belts.
It's an amazing school.
This is where I need to be right now to learn the ground game. Man. So the whole time I was devoted into the ground game and to wrestling, and I was just getting broken. This day in, day out, broken. I'm like, it wasn't even the same person. Like the coaches were just like, I don't what are the coaches?
You're just in a corner, corner crying.
Yeah, it was just like, fuck. It was just. After 6 weeks, it just breaks you down so much. And then, it was a very humbling experience. And then when I got to the fight, I got hit with the Superman punch, got knocked out. Fucking highlight reel knockout.
Nah, but you have so many knockouts. I don't think anyone, no one remembers that.
But you were thinking about grappling.
They remember it, but it's like that was a good learning experience for me, you know.
Well, so grappling is a language. Are there other languages that you've kind of, I don't know whether it's an instrument learning or whatever, that have informed your stand-up? I've always been curious about that. Like,
you mean like playing the flute or something?
Yeah, shit like that. Like they always say, when you do something else and you practice it, it can actually make you better. And I wonder if that's true. I've always been curious, especially like stand-up and stuff. He's like, Joe's like, nope.
The thing is,
in fact, grappling might make you worse.
If you want to get better at grappling, he's not going to pick up the flute. Like he's on a crash course to learn.
Have I been watching too many kung fu movies?
I just think,
Damn it.
Just a terrible question.
You don't wax on or wax off?
Well, I think, so you linked up with Thiago Alves, and then where does because I always thought the Diaz brothers got you into MMA. Yeah. Is that right? Am I off on that?
I did. Because
you were brought in for Condit for them too, right?
Yeah. I did MMA years ago, like 6 years ago, and had a terrible run on it. And it was again when I was making like $1,000 a fight, and kickboxing fights were like once every 8 months or whatever,
It's ridiculous.
So to try to be, I was running my own kickboxing gym at the time, and then had 2 kids or 1 kid already, and it was just, I need money, and I'm hustling and I'm working, and it was like, you want to fight MMA for $1,500? Like, yes, So my MMA record was just shit from the beginning, and then, but no, I met Nick and Nate when they brought me out for Nate first with the Cerrone fight. Makes sense. That's when I got to meet them, those guys, and then Condit, GSP, Anderson.
When you're training with those guys like Nick and Nate, who are really experienced boxers, how much when they bring you out to train? So, for example, Thiago Alves is trying to get ready for Condit, and you're training with him. How much of that when he's training with you? How much of that is you teaching him, you giving him techniques?
It's more the look, right?
Yeah, with Thiago, he has like 5 coaches, and I was there to spar.
Yeah, it's more. They're looking for more for a stand-up.
Okay, just a body and
well, no, not just a
high
body.
level.
They
obviously.
need a high level striker
Right.
because if you can deal with freaking Joe
He can
Schilling,
deal with
when you fight
Condit.
Condit or you fight these other guys,
Sure.
like, oh fuck, man, because
Sure.
he's throwing, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
it's just like you're getting used to that reach and that movement pattern, and I'll try to move. I'll watch a couple videos and I'll try and move more like them. You know.
How much did you help? I mean, obviously there wasn't a lot of time, but did you help Nate at all with Connor?
I went there like the week of. We moved around a little bit, but it's at that point, and then like a 12-day camp in general. It's pretty much getting the guy to feel like he has gas to go as many rounds as he can, and then everybody, kicking ideas back and forth. If he does this, what does that?
How to
what
beat
should I
Connor.
do here? How do I counter that? And Nick and Nate are really big on that situational stuff.
Because it was because a fight that soon, and if you especially before this fight, we never really saw a weakness in Connor's game. I mean, if you go back a ways ago, he got submitted right with an ankle lock. But if you look at his stand up, it's hard to see for an MMA fighter. Looking from my point of view as an analyst, it was tough to see a breakdown in some of his stand up because at 45 he's a bigger dude. He was just dropping dudes.
Yeah.
So that fight for Nate, and I'll be the first one to admit, I was like, dang, I think it's a tough fight for Nate, but fucking way off.
Yeah, I mean, we all had. It was an exciting fight. I mean, the whole week we were all really excited about it, but like nervous at the same time. But we all in the back of our head like knew Nate should win this fight. Like Nate should win this fight. No
I think the big
and
thing.
then Nate just showed everybody.
Just because he was bigger framed, longer reach.
He's a more experienced, better, higher level fighter,
Yeah.
and I think that was obvious, And then what I was really watching and thinking about was Connor sleeps people at 145 pounds. Like Nate spars with like Andre Ward and myself, and like when I'm sparring with Nate, it's first of all I've never gone to camp in shape. Nobody ever brings you in to spar in shape.
No, yeah.
They're like in
One
the
round and out.
last 2 weeks of camp, and they're doing sprints, and you get off the couch like, hey, we need some sparring.
I'd have you smoking opium if I had to spar with you.
So sparring with those guys, like I hit them hard, like we hit each other fucking hard. It's not a good time. 5 minutes of like just shit,
Jesus.
And I've never wobbled or hurt an 8, and I knock a lot of fucking people out at 187 to 205. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Same thing with Nick, and so I knew what was gonna happen. I thought what was gonna happen is he's gonna hit Nate with that same shot. Nate's not gonna move, and then Connor's gonna start being like, oh fuck.
What the fuck did I sign up for?
That's exactly what happened.
How do you see let's say it goes down, which I don't think it will ever. If there was a rematch, you see it going down the exact same way that Nate has a full camp? Do you see anything changing?
I think he doesn't hit Nate nearly as much as he hit him in the first round, if at all. And I think Nate puts more of pressure and just drowns him quicker. And that's nothing against Connor. He's just Nate's a better fighter at that weight class.
It's a tough.
He's got no
matchup,
business
man.
at that weight class, but it's a money thing and it's
Yeah,
marketing and all that stuff. But I don't think the fight will ever happen either.
I would pay cold hard cash to watch you and Andre Ward spar. Have you guys ever sparred?
No, I've never met him.
But
No.
but that's not
sick.
with Andre Ward. You would never try to just box him. I don't know why you would spar with him because
No, I would spar with him boxing.
he's a pure
I would
boxer.
get my ass beat, but I would
Yeah.
and
It's
I'd
one of
learn some things and hit him with some things.
Because I'm dying to see Andre Ward fight
Kovalev?
Kovalev. I'm
That's
dying
gonna
to see that.
happen.
Is it?
One each have one more fight and then they'll fight.
God, I can't wait for that.
100%.
That's the fight.
Yeah.
Do you? This is what's weird to me is like with MMA, the biggest knock for the average fan is when it goes to the ground, right? When there's grappling, because they don't understand it or they don't care. They want to see knockouts. So it's like, all right, well then tune into Glory or kickboxing, if that's what you want, because it's catching on a little more with Glory, the deal with Bellator, all this stuff, but still, I don't get why it's not catching on. And this is my theory, and you can tell me what you think. Is I think Glory and kickboxing and K1, they don't do a good enough job telling your story. So we're not invested. Like if I'm flipping through the channels.
24/7 thing.
Yeah, Showtime, whatever. UFC does a great job telling people's stories for the most part. And if I'm flipping through the channels, I see two dudes kickboxing, and I don't know either of them, I usually keep going. But if obviously I know you, if there's someone I know or I know their story and I know what you're fighting for, I know your background, I'm going to be invested, man. Because there's knockouts, there's excitement. It's been around forever, so the skill level's crazy high. I don't get what the missing gap is.
The problem is that you'd need airtime for that. You'd need air rights.
Oh, they have
expensive.
Oh no, they have airtime.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
I think
that's not the issue, B.
I think that the problem goes along with that, but it's just marketing. And most people, like with Glory, especially recently, don't even know what's on until it was over. And then the ratings suck, and then the sponsors don't get behind it, and then the people don't watch it. And it's like this big snowball effect. I think that, marketing and getting, like you said, telling the backstories, telling any story, getting it out there more and promoting it is the biggest issue. I think that's why I'm really excited about the Bellator starting their own kickboxing promotion, is because they have Viacom behind it. They know how to push a brand. They have a huge MMA fan base that they can completely turn right into kickboxing if they want to. Whereas whereas Glory was trying to create new fans and trying to get one guy to cross over to whatever. I think it's going to be easier.
You have Coker now, who's obviously a marketing genius because Strike Force took that from the ground up. He was with the UFC. Now Bellator, the ratings have never been higher.
I didn't know Coker was with the UFC.
Oh yeah.
What did he? So he's friends with those guys, or
he was an employee until his contract ran out. Then he was like, "See ya," and went to go head Bellator.
But he's got a lot of money, right? He made a lot of money doing what?
I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. He
was
beast.
An employee, or he had a no-compete contract.
He had a no-compete, but he also worked for him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, there was like this weird relationship.
I thought Scott Coker was a billionaire guy, but I guess he's more of a.
I don't think he's a billionaire guy. He's just a guy who started Strike Force, and then he got bought out by the UFC and under contract. Then he was doing some kind of collab with the UFC, and as soon as his non-compete started, he left and went to Bellator. And then Bellator's ratings have never been higher. Then you got to remember, Viacom, a lot of people think, obviously we work for Fox, stuff like that. There's no bigger company than Viacom out there. You're talking major hitters, man. Yeah. So they have the power where they could make Glory as big as, bigger than anything, bigger than K1.
Did you ever hear the story about the guy who started Viacom, and basically at one point Viacom, I think had zero debt. It was this is about 10 years ago. And so the guy who started and built Viacom and created Viacom and owned Viacom, was the sole owner, I guess, for a long time, was a guy named Sumner Redstone. And Sumner Redstone was, if you ever see him, and this is, I think he just died, but Sumner Redstone had a deformed right or left hand. His hand was all like couldn't really close it. And the reason that happened was because he was in London when he was a young man, and there was a fire in the hotel. And Sumner Redstone hung from the window of that hotel by one hand for about a half an hour.
Badass.
To the point where his will wouldn't let him let go. And of course he destroyed his hand. But the cool part about that story is when they heard that story, that he was one of the few survivors who hung from that window with one hand. And he didn't work out. He was, they all went, "Oh yeah, that's Sumner.
He's going to make it."
Yeah. Well,
that guy's going to make it.
That was always who he was. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, you mean the guy with superhuman will?" Yeah. And so then he built, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, with my deformed hand, I'm going to build Viacom."
Right. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Joe, but we keep talking about, well, you really do mention how in kickboxing, like the money and the gravitation for sponsors and viewership. But you got into this, I'm assuming you knew it was going to be a struggle to make money, correct? Yeah. Like there was really no like poster boy. Like if I'm a kid on boxing, I can look at Floyd Mayweather and be like, all right, this dude's pulling 50 mil or whatever, $1 jillion. Uh-huh. If I'm a UFC fan, I'm like, all right, Conor McGregor's killing it. I'm a kickboxing fan as a kid right now. I'm like, well, Joe Schilling's pretty fucking cool. When you get, so I think you went down this road, but like you knew what to expect or no?
Yes and no. I think that was just the road that I picked when I was a kid, that I wanted to be a kickboxer, and I started doing it and I was good at it, and I'm like, I'm going to be a professional fighter. And
what was the movie that you saw?
A Ferrari one day.
What was the movie that you saw?
Bloodsport and Kickboxer,
Bloodsport and Kickboxer.
I'm telling you, B.
Everybody loves Jean-Claude
Van Damme earlier.
Oh, man, I had like every Van Damme movie.
Dude, everyone. Yeah, we're the same age, man. It was like.
You hear that? You hear that? When real fighters love Jean-Claude Van Damme, you got to give it up.
All our listeners,
to the muscles from Brussels.
They're legend, man. How about he was training with your boys, the Diaz
brothers?
I
know. They're in town.
You got a little Jean-Claude in you. I'm sorry. You look a little bit like him.
People say that.
Especially from that angle.
That's not a bad thing.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He's blind. He's blind. Dude.
I get that.
I would love to know from Nate and Nick what exactly went down with that training set. Like, was it legit shit, or was he like telling about old fighting stories, or are we talking about movies?
Joe,
what are we doing?
be honest, Joe.
I don't know,
you look
man.
like
Yeah,
him.
you're right.
You look like him. But
right, son.
he can do the splits between chairs, but
I'm
he's not
just-
going to teach
I'm
Joe
just,
Schilling anything, or Nick or Nate.
I'm just I haven't. I was supposed to hang out with him last night. I was too tired after training, but yeah, I don't know. I was just imagining in my head what was really going on.
Right,
It was
me
funny.
too. I'd laugh my
Dude, if
ass
you had a
off.
French accent right now, you're him. And now, the more I look at you,
You're a movie star.
that's right. I'm Joe Schilling. That's my stage name for fighting. But the truth is, I'm actually Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, that's George St. Pierre.
Yeah,
No,
that's
fuck
George
off.
St.
Jean-Claude
Pierre,
doesn't sound like
Damn
that
it.
at all. You're off, my man.
All right, man. I gotta. Here's my question about sparring. I was wondering, like, when you have, say, Nate's getting ready for a huge fight, or Nick, there's a lot of money on line, and when I bring a guy like Joe Schilling in, and you're gonna hit me hard, there seems to be such a major risk of injury. So how do you guys negotiate that? Like, I don't understand
Talking about
how.
two pros.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think it's really. It's never really been a conversation.
really.
They wouldn't bring him in if he's going there KOing people.
Okay, so
You don't get to that level by bringing
So the
knuckleheads.
sparring is somewhat measured.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to stop me, you know.
Yeah.
And if I hit them with something or hurt them with something, they're gonna, you know, Nate's gonna judo throw me on my head and whatever, and Nick's gonna get me down or whatever it is. But yeah, it's never been really a conversation.
So it's kind of a,
obviously I'm not
they're at
kneeing
such a
them in
high
the
level,
face.
B.
I'm not gonna elbow them in the face.
Okay,
They're
okay.
going to take care of you. They're at such a high
Gotcha.
level. He's not going in there getting his ass whooped.
Gotcha.
Neither. They wouldn't bring him in if it was easy sparring.
Right.
Oh, if it's MMA sparring, Nick and Nate are kicking my ass pretty much the whole time.
Sure. I mean, they're
And that's what the looks that they
graphics.
look. I mean, we were like with for the Anderson fight, I was trying to be the best Anderson I could be, and Nick
Yeah.
was trying to kick my ass. And then the more success he has in certain ways of doing that, the more confidence he has in the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
like,
cool,
like,
man.
did
And
he
with-
when he was
with
sparring with you? Did
Anderson
he
I
did he
did
lie
more-
down? Did he lie down like a magician? Did he
didn't.
hit the Vegas magician
didn't.
pose? It was
No, he's all
unbelievable.
hot.
Dude, I was like,
God.
hey man, you look like Burt Reynolds. I couldn't believe
Killing the
it.
game.
All of that was just shocking to all of us. We were all in the corner.
You didn't
It's like,
expect it?
Like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Why
man.
was he doing
And
that? What
Caesar,
happened to
Caesar
him?
was in the corner and he was like, "This kid's a badass motherfucker. This fucking kid. Are you fucking kidding me? This kid, fucking Nick Diaz. God damn it."
I love Nick Diaz, my
Yeah, it
favorite
was
fighter.
awesome.
It's
We were all
insane,
just-
man.
That was awesome.
How your gym? You're co-owner or full owner of the yard?
Co-owner. Me and my coach started it about 7 years ago.
Where is it so people know where to go?
It's in Lincoln Heights right now, which is just outside of downtown on Avenue 26. It's right where the 110 and the 5 meet.
I love the name of it because it used to be an old prison, right?
Well, when I first got to LA and I started training with my coach, we were training at the old boxing. What was it? LA Boxing Club, like the original LA Boxing Club, which was in downtown. And when they closed, all of the coaches, I mean, they had tons of coaches there and trainers there, and all the trainers went their own way. And Mark and I ended up at another boxing gym, which was the Lincoln Heights Jail. When they built the Twin Towers, the new state-of-the-art jail, the old jail was still owned by the city, so they had like low-income programs throughout the whole building, and the 5th floor was a low-income boxing gym. And we trained there for about 7-8 months, and then decided to open our own gym.
And name it the yard after.
Yeah,
like,
so
the yard and the-
we'd like train. I think I was training for a fight, and we'd go to lunch after and then kick around ideas for the name. And we came up with every cheesy warrior,
Oh, I bet.
gladiator,
Spartan gym.
all that
Blood and guts boxing.
extreme,
Yeah.
da-da-da.
Punch you in the face.
And he was like, "What?" I think maybe it was me, and I was like, "What do you call?" We liked that when we went to a fight, and they're like, "What gym are you from?" They like the jail, and they just looked at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That was really where we trained. It was like
Yeah.
Lincoln Heights Jail, and we liked like the one-word name, and I was like, "What do you call like the workout area in a jail that's not so ghetto?" I was like, "The yard." I was like, "The yard." I like it.
Yard's
we just
sick.
kind of went with it. Yeah.
The
My
yard.
favorite name for a gym.
I was going to
The
say.
yard.
Then there's what are some of the names for gyms we got? We got the Lion's Den. I remember that was Shamrock's gym,
Just
right?
the old school. I mean, Hammer House. These days,
Hammer
it's
House,
way better.
not a bad-
Yeah.
These days, it's all about like shoot box, Brazilian top team.
Yeah.
Then it's way better now. Black
Yeah,
House,
yeah.
it's different. But back,
What's
such
Black
a-
House come from? Do you know?
I don't. I don't know. Sick
idea.
name though.
Yeah, I like that.
Should
It's
we
so
get into some current
mysterious.
events? We got some good ones. today,
Current
man.
events with Joe Schilling and
Current
Bryan and Brendan too. I sing, dude.
Yeah.
He's
You're,
a singer.
you're
So-
multi-talented.
Well, yeah, just so I could get a little acknowledgement because I don't. You seem to be ignoring my voice. It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
What do you got,
Did a
Ev,
great
man?
job.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
We'll start it off with Brendan, your old buddy LeVar Johnson got 5 years. Finally got sentenced. Got 5 years for beating the shit out of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Too bad she can't grapple. Wouldn't have been much of a fight.
Brendan Schaub. That's
that
outrageous.
sucks, man.
You and I were talking about how it's probably, this is a wild guess, probably not the first time.
No, you just don't go nuts and beat your girl and be like, God damn it, 5 years. It's probably something he's been doing. Finally got caught.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, he's gonna run some shit in that prison though. Unless again, if there's a blue belt walking around that prison, he's fucked. That blue belt's like, what's up, bro? You're my gang now.
I don't think LeVar's hearing a peep out of anybody in the yard. The yard.
Yeah, that dude can hit, man.
Yeah,
he's a monster. But hey, man, can't be my friend if you're gonna hit girls. You know what I'm saying? You're screwed. Yeah, he's spending all 5 years too.
You told me that you were nervous about his group, and they were really cool to you. You were like,
it was a biker gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my family, like after the fight, we're in the locker room. He's like, dude, I thought we were gonna bang, dog. I'm like, I ain't banging with your big ass. I can grapple, man. He starts laughing. We're like kind of cool. He's like, all right, man, well, I might get cut. Blah, blah. I'm like, I know, sucks. I'll see you later though. And then we're in the hotel. My whole family's there. My brother, my dad, my mom, everyone. And he walks in, and it's just like a bunch of bad dudes with, biker, coats with the name. I forget the name. Tough dudes.
Yeah.
And my brother knows him first, and my brother taps my leg because I have a beer in my hand. He's like, yo, get up. I'm like, what? He's like, get up. LeVar's coming with all these dudes. I'm like, fuck. So I stand up, and I'm nervous. And I told my dad, I'm like, hey, Dad, go over there, man. Let me handle this. And they come up, and the biggest one comes up, and I'm like, oh, shit. And then he's all, what's up, man? And gives me a big high five. He's like, you got to teach our boy how to wrestle, man. You got to help us out. I'm like, oh, for sure. Have a good night. They were super friendly.
That's cool, man.
Great, man.
Phew.
I was terrified.
Tough to fight a biker
because they're all
gang.
probably terrified of LeVar, and then you just kick LeVar's ass. So you're like,
yeah.
They were going to give you a.
That actually makes sense.
You almost
That makes sense.
You beat the big dog. You beat the alpha dog.
I'd be a terrible enforcer, though.
Yeah, I would too. But of course, I would because I'm not physically built for it either. On top of the fact that I'm nice, that I have no staying
Well, I would
power.
buy their bullshit. It's like, come on, man. I don't have the money. I'll have it next week. I'm like, all right, I'll be back next
I feel
week.
like Joe Schilling would be a good enforcer. I feel like you can turn it off. I feel like you'd just
I feel
be
like you're a lot meaner than me.
I don't know. I don't think I look.
I think strikers are meaner. I think
I
inherently.
have the look. I bounced for a while, and it was like I was always the guy that they wanted to fuck.
Yeah,
with.
because you're
Smallest guy,
tall and thin.
Smallest guy in the bar every time.
Yeah,
That's the guy
you look.
don't want to fuck with.
No, of course not.
What else you got?
You look like a muscular tennis pro.
All right, next
There,
one we
I
got.
said-
This one's kind of a bummer, but Bellator's Jordan Parsons dies following hit-and-run incident in Delray Beach. So he had a leg amputation yesterday.
That's so
and
horrible, man.
Guess it didn't take.
So it was a hit and run. A car hit and ran him. They thought they knew they were going to have to amputate his leg, and I guess he passed away this morning.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible, man. He's young, 25, 26.
25.
What a shame. What a
damn.
terrible thing.
That's horrible.
And they never caught the guy.
Did they catch the guy that ran off? I think so.
Nope. No, they haven't. The vehicle involved is believed to be a 2012 or 2013 Range Rover Sport left behind a side view mirror at the scene, but nothing yet.
Wow.
You going to jail for life, son. They catch you.
Yeah,
Damn, that's a bummer. So young,
terrible.
man. That's
Terrible.
awful.
Oh, terrible.
Did you know him, Joe?
No, I didn't. I see it all over Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, me
A lot
too.
of my friends know him, and this is terrible.
Yeah.
Awful. It was sad when I first saw it that he, had a leg amputated, but now he passed away. It's just,
They say psychologically, they'll tell you that when you stand on the highway, that there are some people, this is so weird, but there are some people, and cops will talk about this a little bit. There are some people that kind of can't help but veer. I guess they're called sociopaths. Can't help but to veer off and clip you. Like some people just have this, like the most dangerous thing you can do is when you're a cop and standing next to a car on the side of the road. People die all the time.
All the
that way.
time.
Yeah.
But this was like on the streets.
Is that what happened?
Right?
Yeah.
This wasn't on the highway. No, he was like in Florida.
Yeah, it was in Delray Beach.
He was Delray Beach. He's like on a street corner. Some dude just hit
Dude,
him.
how about when you had your fight and you stepped out? I think we were, dude.
died.
I think about it every day.
I
I think about it every day. You almost died.
Arlovsky?
Yes,
Arlovsky
you were
Travis
about
Brown.
fighting Arlovsky, and
We
that
were
car
leaving, and I was
literally.
talking to Brian. I turned like this. I was like, KB, walking the road. I'm like, KB, and a car goes.
I don't even like. I don't like even talking about it. I don't like even
I was
thinking
trying to
about
act
it.
all tough, though.
Bro, you almost died
Your
right in
face
front of
was
me.
white.
It would have sucked beyond sucked.
Because there was no one there. We're kind of in the hood, Black House. I'm like, KB, what do you want to get to eat?
Hey, look both ways, you fucks.
Nuts, man. Big Brown almost died.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That sucks for that kid, man.
Remember that movie Meet Joe Black when Brad Pitt steps off the terrible movie, but he gets
it was on
hit
last night, actually.
Dude, he gets hit by
last night.
that SUV and just goosh. It was unreal. It was just like, oh my god, it was just. That's how fast it happens. Just goosh. Oh,
my buddy Klopp said he was getting lunch downtown Denver, and some old, terrible story. I mean, who brought the fucking bad news bear right now? But this old lady's walking, and there's buses off 16th Street. She stepped out, didn't see the bus, and this thing fucking rocked her, but ripped off like her leg, everything. And Klopp said there's just like yellow, like adipose fat everywhere, just everywhere. She died. Klopp saw it.
She died.
He's scarred for life.
I used to have a friend who was a cop who would send me like videos, and it would say, it'd be a video. Oh, you think motorcycles are safe? Still think motorcycles are safe? And I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going to click on this. I got too much to do today. And I'd be like, my finger would be like, all right, I'm just going to click for a second.
Curious.
And moped and semi and boom. And literally like what you do if you were to mash a gnat on a desk, that's what happens to your body.
Can you watch that stuff, Joe?
I hate it.
Like Faces of Death as a kid.
Yeah,
you remember that?
I didn't watch it.
You know who watches that shit? Who can watch any of it?
Will
Rogan
Sasso.
and Will Sasso.
Sasso.
Joe Rogan and Will Sasso are voyeurs. Me, it fucks me up. I can't do it.
Dude, it ruined my entire day.
I can't do it.
Just picture that kid getting hit by a car ruins my day.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ev? For sure, get happier.
Yeah. Next one. This is a little bit of a weird one. So Caitlyn Jenner is going to pose naked on the front cover of Sports Illustrated.
What are we?
Whoa.
What are
Dick
we?
out or no? Are we tucking it back like a bulldog?
There's an American flag and a gold medal involved. So I'm assuming
Sir.
we use the.
She tucks in.
I don't know, man. It's so
Or did she
fucking
have
weird.
the surgery? These are a lot of legit
A
questions.
lot of questions, bro.
Is it going to be blurred out like dick out? Because I'm assuming
Sir.
Bruce Jenner had a piece.
Don't use the
You
word
don't become
dick.
a gold medalist by having a fat dick.
Yeah, probably, huh?
Is this too much?
No, I'm loving it.
I'm just saying.
Because I think
man.
it's a legit question.
Yeah,
But didn't he have it? He didn't have it turned inside.
Not as far as I know. That's a better question for Key. Key, has Caitlyn Jenner gotten her piece taken care of?
I thought that he did, but I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they haven't
if you
confirmed
watch the show, I Am Kate, she hasn't.
it. Oh, then maybe.
She wants to, and she was like on the fence. She met with someone, but I don't know how long ago they filmed that.
Oh, maybe she'll just tuck it in then.
Well,
Or
guys,
dick out on Sports Illustrated. That would be weird.
But they're gonna edit it, right?
Yeah, of course. It's still a Sports Illustrated cover. They're not
Plus,
just
with
gonna have her out there
Photoshop,
with dick hanging out.
yeah, there's no way her dick's on the front cover.
so she's gonna pose naked on Sports Illustrated. 66 years old. Cool.
Killing the game.
All right.
Hey, fucking
Hey, brother.
killing the game.
That's what you call killing it, but you're right.
Front cover of Sports Illustrated. If they said, Shab, listen, you need to bend over and bulldog your nuts at the back, and you'd be on Sports Illustrated, you would see Big Brown's ass on Sports Illustrated like this.
You're gonna bulldog.
Find a kid live.
Why do I think bulldog your nuts is the funniest thing I've ever heard?
What else you got,
So
Ev?
Brendan, if you could bend over here and we're gonna snap some shots, you're gonna bulldog your nuts. We get a little more moisture on his nuts, please. Just get some of that glycerin,
You
please.
get a spray on the nuts.
And I'm gonna need Joe Schilling. Joe, can you come over here? You're not gonna be wearing pants. Kick him in the face as hard as you can, but we'll shutter shoot it so we catch
Slow motion.
We'll slow motion it. Joe, I want you to really get your hips into his fucking face and really flatten
really
that fuck-
fuck him up, Joe.
Really flatten that
just-
nose, and I'm gonna be over here jerking off and clicking pictures. Don't worry about that. I got some butter. I got some butter, and I'm just gonna take butter to cock.
Fuck, that's insane.
It's called a
man.
buttercock
What else you got?
photo
Ev?
shoot.
Buttercock.
Buttercock photo shoot, everybody. Buttercock photo shoot. I'm not done.
Big brown buttercock.
No, get your hips in. It's the big brown buttercup. It's the big brown buttercup featuring. It's the big brown buttercock featuring Joe Schilling. Try to say that 5 times fast.
That's a tough one.
Big brown buttercock
Fuck.
featuring
What else
Joe
you got,
Schilling.
Ev?
Thank
Come
you,
on.
Joe, for adding that in.
That's
So
classic.
next one we got is 50 Cent, who's been on the show, is coming under fire for filming a video and putting it on, I think, Instagram of him harassing a kid that was working at the airport. He thought the kid that was working was just high out of his fucking mind. I'll show you the video in a
And
second.
by the way, he did look
Let's see
high.
it first. Let's
Yeah,
see it
I
first.
saw it. I saw it.
I'll show you guys the full
Okay.
video. It's
Sorry.
not that long. It's like 25 seconds. So just bear
Have
with
you seen it, Joe?
Oh,
Yeah.
I never heard of it.
Let's watch it.
Listen, the new generation is crazy. They're crazy. What's your name? Look at him. Look at the. What kind of shit you think he took before he got to work today? He high as a motherfucker right here in the airport. Pupils dilated, everything looking like this. The new generation is fucking crazy.
Well, that's Brian Callen's phone. Only been doing He's only been in show business for 25 years, everybody.
I think that he really thought the guy was high.
I don't give a...
For the people listening, because we haven't gotten to that part yet,
Yeah.
The kid has autism, Asperger's, and obviously a shitload of social anxiety to go along with that.
But to
kinda
be
fucked
fair,
up
the
big
kid
time
doesn't
here.
look high to me.
to be fair, 50 Cent didn't know that. He thought he was high.
hang on.
So then you get out your fucking cell phone, videotape this poor kid as a janitor in the airport, and make fun of him because he's high.
Well,
even if he is high,
Yeah,
you're okay with that.
No, I'm not. I you know me. I don't like making fun of anybody.
We said to be fair.
I'm just trying
To
to
who,
give him.
50 Cent,
I'm trying
the
to give him.
billionaire?
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, thinking he was making a funny video that people would laugh at. Maybe this guy would laugh at, like, yeah, I'm really high. I've made fun of people for being super high.
I've never done that in my life.
I have. I've made fun of people for being like, you a little high there, buddy? I mean, I can understand that.
I've never took out my cell phone like, you're high as fuck. Look, you work in the airport.
We don't know.
This generation's fucked.
We don't
man.
know the context. All I'm saying is that I don't think it was mean spirited. I think that
disagree.
making fun of anybody is, you always have to be careful. What did I say? The first thing I said is I go, you got to be careful in general, making fun of anybody for anything.
That'd be a form
is
of
always a
bullying
bummer.
to me, especially when you have 50 million followers on Instagram and that kid's working at an airport. That even if he's normal and high, that'd be bullying.
And you can't tell me that because of this 30-second clip that you can't tell he's high. That 50 Cent watched him for long enough to know more than just that 30-second clip before he got out of his phone, before he did that. And that was just,
That's
even
a
if he's
douche
not
move, man.
fucking handicapped, that's just, what a fucking dickhead.
But-
That shit really bugs me. That shit fucking bugs me.
Me too.
But-
Someone should have went up to 50 Cent and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
How much money do you have?
Just smack
How many
the fuck out
followers
of
do you
him
have?
for that
You
shit.
got this kid's a janitor at the airport, and you're gonna film him
But
and
wait.
make fun of him.
And make fun of him. Yeah.
But I also think that if 50 Cent had known that this kid had Asperger's or was mentally handicapped or had social anxiety,
I'm telling you that doesn't
my
matter.
My
I'm
guess
telling
is
you,
he
you
wouldn't
can't
have done
watch
that.
somebody
He wouldn't
like
have done
that and not know that there's something wrong with that kid. Like, you can't. There's no way that you saw him. You know, and
Even
the way
if-
he
even if he
reacted,
was-
you didn't feel like a dickhead doing that. When a kid didn't respond and was shaking his head and he walked.
I
Keep going.
think he
You
was
didn't feel
trying
like
to be
a
funny
shitbag?
and it was clumsy. I think. I
don't
don't know.
think
I
he's
don't
trying to
know
be
him.
funny.
I don't know him. So I
I don't think he's trying. I can't believe you're defending him. I don't think him filming him. Everyone knows comedy. That's not comedy. Who's gonna watch that and laugh? No one in their right.
Well, that's
mind.
why I'm
Some
saying it
little
was kind of
fucking
clumsy.
asshole.
No, it's just
Trying to do it.
it was a bully move. It's I'm 50 Cent. This poor kid working in an airport. Even if he's not high or has anything, you're gonna film him and
The
put him.
comedian in him is backing him up.
Yeah,
He's
a little
like,
bit.
don't make fun of his comedy.
No,
But he
no,
should know comedy. That's my issue.
Well-
And Brian hates bullies. And
Yeah.
this is the biggest
Yeah,
bully movement
that's
I've
just-
ever seen
that's
by celebrity in a
yeah.
long fucking
Yeah,
time.
all right.
And you defend him drives me nuts.
Well, no, because I don't think he meant it that way.
But
That's all I'm
wasn't
saying.
there like a big thing where like Shaq posted a picture of some kid with like goofy teeth or some shit? And,
Yeah.
Like, you know, the same
Yeah,
same
and
kind of
yeah,
thing. But
that's
this
kind of.
fool fucking edited it and like videotaped
Edited
it.
it.
Yeah, that's fucked.
It's fucked up, man. It's a bully move. Even if the kid has no issues, let's say he was high, you have 50 million followers. This poor kid struggling. Obviously, he's struggling.
Right.
He's a fucking janitor in an airport.
Yeah.
Terrible job. You're going to put the way you're going to introduce this kid to the world is by watching him push a trash can and a mop.
Yeah.
What
Plus-
now the form of funny comes.
I know what
at
you're
which-
saying.
At which part
Yeah.
is that funny to you?
Or that kid is handicapped, has problems, is not fucking super thrilled dude, and maybe right before that saw 50 Cent and was like, holy shit, this
know,
is
man.
fucking 50 Cent, oh my god, and then 50 Cent comes over and shits on you.
Well,
to
we
the
don't
raw.
know. We don't know what
That's
happened
fucked
before
up.
that, but yeah, I mean,
We know 50 Cent knew enough to seek him out, think he was high, get out his phone and record it and
Who
edit
does
it.
that? Who sees somebody and is like, "Oh, he's high." This kid, like, you really think that kid is high at work on his job, like doing that to the point where you need to pull
well,
out a
that-
phone and
we
rag
can
on
only
him?
guess that
Plus,
that's
that's
what he
some
said.
narc shit anyway. If you did think
I
he was
agree.
high as fuck and you put him on
I'm
blast,
telling you, you're
that's
killing
fucked
your
up.
rep. Defend this guy.
Yeah.
You're
well,
fucking
I'm
yourself.
not killing my rep, Brendan. Don't say I'm killing my rep. What I'm saying is I'm giving
He's standing
somebody,
up for bad
I'm
comedians
giving him
everywhere.
the benefit of the doubt to think that it was a clumsy effort. I don't know 50 Cent. I don't know if he's a dick. I don't know if he's a nice guy. My guess is he's probably a nice guy. Now, when you do something like that, all I'm saying is that was a clumsy effort, probably maybe at trying to be funny. Maybe he was trying to include the guy. Maybe
Include
just
him?
listen
Oh my
for a second, all right? Before you start judging, maybe he was trying basically to get this guy to go, yeah, you're right, I'm high, whatever. The bottom line is I've made fun of people for being super high before, whether it was at Wendy's, whether it was, at the Comedy Store. There are people that walk around that are super high. And by the way, I'll make
Janitors
fun of
at
them.
airports.
Well, I
And
don't.
you're gonna get your cell phone
I
recorded.
don't
About
know.
17.
I don't know.
And he's 17.
All I'm saying is that if 50 Cent had known what this guy really was, I don't think he would have done that. That's all I'm saying. And we're this mob mentality.
We knew he was 17 and working as a janitor. That we knew, whether he had a disability or not.
I didn't know he was 17. You just told me he was 17.
We knew he was a young man working at the airport as a janitor at 12 o'clock at night, pushing a fucking mop.
Okay.
So you can get out your phone with your 50 million followers and record it.
I might, if it's part of a joke and he's on my phone and it's fun. You know, if I'm not trying to humiliate him and I'm trying to include him in the joke,
you think he was
then
trying
I
to
think it would be
include him?
okay. I don't know, Brendan.
Quote, this is how
I don't know,
fucked
and
up
either do you.
No, we do.
No,
This is how
you
fucked up
don't.
these kids are.
You don't know what
You
was in
defend him,
50
it's
Cent's.
insane.
You don't know what was in 50 Cent's head, so stop acting like you do.
It's not a form of bullying.
I don't know, Brendan.
Okay, Brian, so when
What
we go
I'm
to the
saying is
airport,
that-
because
what
you
I'm
know
saying is
comedy
that-
so well, anytime we see a young man pushing a fucking
I'm
mop,
using
get your
this
phone out.
particular instance, and I don't know what was in 50 Cent's head. What I'm trying to say is I'll give him
Is
the
that it's all
benefit.
good.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt to think that I think it was clumsy. I think he's embarrassed by it. I'm sure.
A businessman at his level, you think, didn't know that was the wrong thing
I
to
don't
do.
know if he did or not, dude. What I'm saying is that I bet now that he found out that the kid was mentally handicapped, I bet he's pretty embarrassed.
Left the
And
video
by the
up.
way, and by the
Left
way,
the video up.
bet he feels kind of bad about it. And he didn't
He
know
left the
that.
video up.
Didn't know about it until the video was up, right?
He left the video
Okay,
up.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't.
So if
know
you felt bad, wouldn't you take the video down?
well, I don't know when he found out.
Well, that video's been ripped by a million different sites at this point. Like, even if 50 Cent took it down,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
available and easy.
Look,
to
I
find.
don't- all I'm
think
saying
what
is
Brian
I don't
maybe kind
know.
of be getting at is like how Chris D'Elia will like film people or Snapchat people randomly at like Starbucks and
All
make
the
fun of them,
time.
film people at the airport. make
Never
fun
a
of them
young
bit.
man pushing
But,
a
yeah,
janitor.
Sure he has. Sure he
Never.
has.
There's just
Never.
extra
Chris has
added
never
pieces
done
of
that.
context
I
that he
follow
fucked
Chris.
up on.
Chris has never
Chris
been a
has done-
bully.
Chris, who's my dear friend, so I don't want to put him on blast here, but Chris has made very funny videos of people in whether they're falling asleep or whether they're, who knows if they have narcolepsy, but a lot of them are funny. All I'm saying is that Chris is trying to be funny. There's a chance he might have taken a picture of somebody who was in a similar circumstance. All I'm doing is trying to give 50 Cent the benefit of the doubt. We've already talked about this way too much.
It's a dick move. You're wrong on this,
I,
beat.
I would just say it's a dick move.
Complete
on
dick
any
move.
level, handicap, not handicap. You're following somebody who has a
50
fucking
million
job that
followers.
you don't think is fucking cool, and you're making fun of them. I think
It's a
dick
bully move, man.
Yeah.
regardless.
Well, I think whenever you make fun of people, which is why with my comedy I've never done that. That's why I never listen to Howard Stern. I never liked that stuff. I've never liked making
But
fun
let's
of
give
people for
50
being
Cent
fat
benefit of
or
the doubt.
whatever.
He's just trying to be a good guy and help this kid out.
Hey, I don't know.
I know. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to give him the
Which is
benefit of the
insane.
doubt. Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of that. But you say it's
Because you know him
insane.
well.
I don't know. Stop adding shit to what I'm saying. What I've said 10 times is I don't know.
And I'm telling you
either
it's fucked
do
up.
you.
I'm telling you it's fucked up. It's a form of bullying.
Okay,
100%.
That's great, buddy. That's great.
And Joe
And
agrees.
you're right, and I defend bullies, but thank you so much for clarifying.
That's what it
that.
seems like.
Okay, but
If that was my
I
son,
defend
if that was my son, I'd be real fucking pissed off at 50 Cent.
you would drive your knee right into his solar plexus.
I would try to find and get my hands on 50 Cent.
What's the first thing you'd do to a guy who's doing that to your son? Would you drive your knee into his solar plexus, or would it be a right hand to the jaw?
That's a good question.
Like, if you're really mad.
it would
I wanna know what the
It have
first-
to depend on the situation.
Yeah, it would depend on the situation.
So if I
50 Cent is going to try boxing you for sure. Because he
I'm
claims he knows boxing.
push kicking him in the face, and then probably ground and pound.
you're
him around.
cigaring
Yeah.
style. You're cigaring him.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
For sure.
Push kick to the face, and
Push
then
kick
what
to
do you
the face.
follow that up with? I'm
I think he
fascinated.
goes like down, and then it's just ground and pound at that point.
Then you finish him
Maybe
off
like some soccer
for filming
kicks
your
and-
buddy.
Yeah,
Unless he's been doing jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
At American Top Team.
Yeah, well then, yeah.
What
else you got, Ev?
I'm pretty done.
That's it for currents.
Those are good currents, man.
Well, let's do a dropping of knowledge then on that topic, because I think it's very timely that we've had this argument, because I think that, and it goes back to that knowledge I dropped with our live show, and I want to expand on it. You know, you see something like 50 Cent and it elicits a lot of emotions, and probably I think Joe and Brendan at the end of the day their hearts are where they should be, and 50 Cent should pay for his actions, because nothing gets better when you categorize people that are different, when you bully people. And you know, let's talk about Caitlyn Jenner. I, as a guy, when Caitlyn Jenner went from Bruce to Caitlyn, I found it disturbing. I found it confusing. I found it a little weird. I even found it a little unnatural. I had a judgment on it. That's just the truth. Now, I would never try to censor anybody. I would never try to humiliate somebody who felt like a woman or felt like a man, but they were a different sex. And what I want people to think about is this. What makes our country strong isn't just the fact that we have things like the UFC and the NFL and the stock market, the biggest guns, the most money, cars with 800 horsepower. That is one form of power. But what makes our country strong, what makes our country great, and what makes our country interesting, and any culture interesting, is that we protect our gentler spirits, is that we create a safe haven for people who feel different and behave differently, like Caitlyn Jenner, and maybe even the fact that we celebrate. Because, guys, if you are like Russia or a lot of countries that has only one idea of what power is, which is the guy with the biggest muscles or the biggest guns, what happens is people like Marilyn Manson and Prince and Little Richard and all the people that we go to stadiums to watch, et cetera, those people get categorized, they get put in jail cells, they get hung from posts, et cetera. So that's why it's important to protect people that are different, protect people that think and talk differently and have different points of view than you do, even the points of view that are disturbing to you, the ones that even make you a little angry or confuse you or scare you. If you don't protect those people, you run the risk of being not only a boring culture, but a weaker one. That's my dropping knowledge, ladies and gentlemen.
Take that home with you, Joe.
Whoa.
Joe, I
Take
hope
that
you
home,
wrote
man.
that shit down.
That
And
was
Nick
deep.
Diaz,
That was deep.
I
We
saw
can send it to you.
send him, tell him he's my favorite
I
fighter.
just sent that to Nick. Yeah.
We need to get both those boys on here, man.
I'd
They're
love
both
to
in
get
town.
those.
I hit them both up this morning. I was like, anything you want me to say or not say?
I'd have to fanboy out.
They're both killing it, man. Let's do
Nick's
some
like,
fan
you
questions.
still on there? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might chime in.
We'll
those
jump into some
guys.
fan questions here.
Anytime.
Let's
Tell
do.
him anytime.
How did Joe support himself as an up and coming fighter?
Sold his ass.
No,
Sorry. He did some private dancing.
definitely didn't do any private dancing.
Jiggling.
I bounced. I started personal training at the YMCA downtown, and I was a trainer, personal trainer during the day. I bounced at night, and I was still training, and then open my own gym.
Did you personal
all
train
at the same
any
time.
Lonely Housewives?
I didn't get that many lonely housewives.
I know Brendan did
I guess
back
I
in the
did.
day.
Well, but
Not quite
he
like
was
that.
downtown L.A. which
Yeah,
is
I was in like the
different animal.
financial district.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brendan was you were in Denver, weren't you?
I was in the suburbs.
Now,
all,
Brendan-
all soccer moms.
Let me ask you a question, Brendan.
Nice.
Just just
What?
throw it out there. Were you? I know you're a professional. I know you stuck to the curriculum, but I'd imagine a big old strapping kid like yourself.
There's a couple happy hours.
Is that right?
Earned my money.
Is that right?
Earned my money.
Jesus.
Earned my money.
Earned your money, huh?
What else she got out?
All right.
All right, this one's also for Joe. Who is your favorite MMA fighter and your favorite kickboxer?
Oh man. Favorite kickboxer would be probably Badr Hari. That's probably one of my favorites. And then
Great name.
MMA.
Is he still fighting, or did he get in trouble?
He's always kind of in trouble. I think he's coming back. I think
He's
he's
a
gonna fight
wild
again.
child,
but
man.
Yeah. He's a fucking killer though. Like
Straight
you want to see
killer.
like somebody with like good skill and technique, but just overall exciting.
Dude, he was
Go in there and
he
kill
was one of
somebody.
my favorites.
You know, he's like a Mike Tyson.
Remember when him
style.
and Overeem were talking all that shit to each other? Then he knocked Overeem
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And then before that, Peter Graham. They had
Yeah,
like two
man.
fights. Peter Graham broke
Badr
his
Hari
jaw.
was he was like the original badass.
Yeah, he
Just
started when he was like a
fucking-
pissed off kid and like just came all the way up to like.
He's
the
from
best in the
was
world.
he was from
I think he's from Morocco.
Morocco,
originally.
that's right. Yeah, he
Trained in
flagged the
Holland.
Morocco flag and trained in Holland.
I guess he's like a superstar in Morocco, like fucking
That's what
super
they say.
superstar.
They
which
say
is
him and
nuts.
Ronaldo are like super close.
Really?
A little too close from what I hear.
Hey, sir.
I don't know.
What Ernesto, who's
Whoa. Just ruined it for Joe.
excuse me, I know.
Oh, hey.
Joe just starts crying. Ernesto Hoost,
Yeah,
who I love to watch his highlight reel.
Mr. Perfect.
I'm going to ask you a dumb question, but if he fought today, how would he do? Has the sport evolved of kickboxing, or is it still? Would he still dominate?
Oh, I think if he was, in his prime and shape, I think he would. I think all of those guys would still do
they'd
really
adapt
because the
Really?
level is so high. I think that all the guys today are just trying to get to that same level.
Damn it.
All right,
No?
never mind.
No faith in.
No, because I just know how much MMA has evolved.
Yeah, but with
since
their
that time.
mentality as a fighter and
Yeah.
how they picked up things and their hand-eye coordination.
No, that's not what I'm
you
saying.
Get them with a coach
Yeah,
now.
sure. But I'm saying, has kickboxing evolved the way MMA has in that period of time?
I don't know. I think it's different because MMA there's so many different aspects to evolve. Whereas
Yeah,
kickboxing is pretty standard.
Kickboxing a lot older though. You gotta remember,
A lot older,
kickboxing
yeah.
is very old.
Yeah.
Very, very. Muay Thai is very old, but UFC's been around since '93.
Right.
Really didn't get popular to 2001.
Yeah, but you always talk about how like every year it's changing.
But that
right?
just because we've only really been around for maybe 15 years, really.
Right,
You know?
right.
And it got big in the past 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're talking about we have leather helmets on right now.
Yeah.
Where kickboxing, that's an art that's been around forever.
Right.
That's why guys are so talented. That's why I don't get why Viacom just needs to invest into the telling the stories of the Joe Schillings and all these guys.
I think you're going to see that a lot. They just had their first kickboxing promotion in Italy.
Yeah, I watched it. It was cool,
think,
man.
the next one's going to be in June. I'm on that card, June 24th.
You know who you're fighting?
I do, but I don't know if I could say it yet or
It's
not.
all good, man.
'cause,
We'll talk after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. How
Why
that
don't you
goes.
do some perfume ads with that voice? Just do me a favor. I want you to say, "Old Wood" by John Ford.
Old Wood by John?
Old
Ford.
Wood.
Old Wood by John Ford.
I'm not mad at it, man.
That's that. And he was leaning on his
Cha-ching.
hand. Not bad, dude.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, next one. Joe, what was the deal breaker with Lion Fight, and do you still prefer full Muay Thai rules over Glory's K1 type rules?
A deal breaker with Lion Fight. There was just it's money. I'm always trying to get to the next level where I can make as much money and promote myself as good as possible. Lion Fight was, no TV deal at the time. It was still on the internet only, and then even now it's on Access TV. You can't really put Access TV. It's a great channel, but against Spike TV.
No, different animal.
I was making probably $5,000 to fight for a Lion Fight. I was a world champion, which is, I was
terrible.
a WBC world champion,
That's
like
insane,
World Boxing
man.
Commission world champion, making $5,000.
That's insane. And it's better now though that you're on Glory.
Glory, I went up quite a bit. My first fight with Glory, I won that tournament. It was $150,000. So
Even that's not enough for you, but yeah.
It's not as much as I want. It's not going to put me in a Ferrari, but it's way more than I ever dreamed when I was a kid.
For sure, man.
That I could make. So,
Yeah.
Then now with Viacom, it's even more, and the opportunities more. And now I'm on your show, and that's going to get me more followers on Instagram. At
You're
Joe
damn right.
Schilling.
Is it at Joe Schilling?
Joe_Schilling, and then Twitter is Joe Schilling 187.
Do you? Because I feel like a lot of kickboxers and guys at your level, they're not out there really promoting themselves. But we're fans. We obviously post your stuff. You obviously you've been on the show now. Joe Rogan loves you, and you have kind of this following now, and you're out there, promoting your fights, and people are getting to know you. So I feel like sponsors would gravitate more towards you.
For sure.
Do you see that happening more now?
For sure. Like I said before, when I was with Lion Fight, and before I was on like a TV network, it was when you went to a Muay Thai show, the average fan didn't know who was who unless you went to every show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we actually started our own promotional company kind of thing called Can't Stop Crazy, and our own clothing line. It was me and 6 of the other best kickboxers that were all in the same group to really set ourselves apart. And we did our own pre-fight interviews and did our own publicity,
Damn.
did our own things to try to set ourselves apart. And I think that a lot of guys are learning that, but still haven't gotten there yet. That you have to. Everybody at this level knows how to fight. Like everybody knows how to fight, especially at the level that I'm at. Everybody knows how to fight. It's the guys that are going to promote themselves, that are going to go above and beyond to be marketable, that are going to be the ones to make the money.
You're kind of the pioneer doing it. I feel like there's, I know some other kickboxers, but they would never come on here, unless it was like the day before a fight or something like that. So
Right.
yeah, you're
and then
killing it,
because
man.
of that, I'm more comfortable on camera and talking and doing things like that, which I think helps. A lot of these guys, like you were talking about, glory doesn't show the backstories of it. Well, a lot of guys, especially me 5 years ago, before I started doing that, you put them on camera and
freeze up.
Yeah, I just want to have a really good fight. I've been training it really hard. They're not going to tell you, I fucking hate that guy in his stupid accent. He's a fucking bitch, and I'm going to knock his teeth out. which
Way
let's
more
be
colorful.
honest, that's how you really feel.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what.
Do you have to, when you fight a guy? Do you have to kind of like generate some animosity in your heart for him?
I think that goes back to like that mental thing that I think there was a point when I felt like I needed to do that, and now I don't. I
feel like Nick Diaz does that.
Without a doubt that I'm the best middleweight kickboxer in the world, and I think that took me getting to where I truly believed that before it happened. But now it's like people call me out all the time, and these guys that I've never fucking heard of is like talking shit and saying that I'm ducking him or whatever.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's annoying, but it's a good thing. Yeah. Because it's like if I fight every single idiot that calls me out, it does nothing for me.
Just let them keep. Every time they say your name, it's helping you.
Yeah,
you're doing something right if they're calling you out.
Yeah,
right.
if Joe Schilling is the standard, then if that's the bar.
I mean, I don't know any other American kickboxers that have crossed over into the MMA media or like MMA mainstream like I have either. So
yeah, that Van Hooven, the heavyweight
Rico.
boy's trying to
he went on like a little world tour or whatever, going to all the gyms and
huge,
trying to do everything.
Really huge.
He got enormous.
Huge as in big.
Super athletic too for his size.
He's
like
gonna be trouble. And he's at AK learning takedown defense. He's enormous. Enjoy that. Heavyweights.
God, I you guys in that business. What I would do, Joe, is I would have a robe and I'd purr into the mic and I'd be like, "Hey guys, why don't you go ahead and come watch me fight, and then maybe after that come to my hotel room and get you to lose those pants."
You do this in the ring or
in the ring?
I'd go. I got a big hotel room, and if you guys root for me, you come over to my place to lose those pants and move around the corner. Only girls in their 20s, please.
Girls in their 20s. Girls.
Everybody's obviously welcome, but just
girls who are creative. What
Nick,
else you got?
Nick just texted me to tell you guys that he loves the show. Actually,
the show?
He wrote, "Tell them I live the show," and then wrote "love," and then wrote, "Don't tell them I spelled it wrong."
Nick Diaz.
I love those.
Don't worry, Nick. Man. I won't tell him.
Dude, I'm such a fan. Well, you tell Nick Diaz he's my favorite fighter. And
if you could just snap that and send to Brian so he can jack off after the show.
My favorite fighter, Nick Diaz, is always for real. Has always been my favorite.
We got to have those guys on, man. Those guys are killing. My thing with this whole Conor thing is what Conor's doing for the fighters is good, and the UFC is going to go on, Conor's going to go on, they're going to figure it out. But the one guy who gets fucked out of all this is your boy Nate.
Yep.
Because he doesn't get that huge payday fight, and he's finally getting the recognition he deserves after just being this freaking journeyman, and everyone loves him. He has all the fan support, and he's kind of like the guy's fighter, and there's very few fighters left like him, so everyone's supporting him, but he's the one guy of this whole equation where if he doesn't fight Conor, let's say he fights anyone else, he doesn't get the same amount of money, man. So he's the one guy who gets fucked out of this.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one guy that always got fucked, like his whole career.
Even now.
Up until going into that fight, like, trust me, they did not want to give Nate that fight out of all the people. They don't want Dana seriously hates Nate Diaz. I don't know what it is, but Dana does not like Nate Diaz whatsoever. And I was so excited. I was so excited that like after it all happened, because I was there all fight week. Like when you're there with your buddies going through all that shit, like you're connected to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like reveling, and Dana having to say nice things about Nate after the fight, and he didn't say a fucking word.
They didn't bring him up.
It was just like, oh, Conor's been a real classy guy with this loss, and Conor's gonna da 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 da.
The whole spin was Conor's taking this loss like a real champion. What the fuck? What about Nate, though?
Yeah.
He's killing it, man. He finally has his breakout fight that we've been waiting for.
In a way, it's almost like now you root even harder for Nate, but
that doesn't pay the bills.
It doesn't pay the bills.
That doesn't pay the bills as much.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he finally got the new contract he wanted when going into the Conor fight, and I think there was something going on with should the rematch happen, that we wanted a new contract.
Well, I'll tell you right now, for the UFC and Dana have to be careful, because you give Nate Diaz power, watch out, because he's not one of the sheep that are going to jump through all the hoops for you. He says it how it is, and you give that guy power, you got some issues. Now, we love it. We need guys like Nate and Nick, but
no doubt
he's the one guy that got fucked out of the situation, which is crazy. Out of all this mess, he got fucked again, which is insane.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, this one's about the Fighter and the Kid 3D series. How has the response for 3D been? I was hooked from the first episode on, and do you see this evolving into a web series or like a Hulu Netflix format kind of deal?
I'm glad that came up because I got to tell you, I called Brendan this morning and I go, dude, I cannot believe my Twitter feed and the response has been overwhelming. Like we worked so hard on it and all that, but I just can't believe how much people are, I don't know, man. It's a lot of love. We haven't seen one bad thing.
It's not even, I don't care about the negative or anything like that, but just the support that we have has been insane. And when you work so hard on something, and I was so nervous about it, and I still am a little bit, but I was so nervous because you put all this time and effort into it, and let's say it just fucking bombs. It's almost like doing a 14-week fight camp, and you show up and the guy Superman punch you in 3 seconds. Like, fuck, man. And that's what I was worried that I was going to get Superman punched in the face with this Fighting the Kid 3D series.
That's so funny.
But we didn't get Superman punched in the face. Nah, we actually won in about 30-second KO because the amount of orders, support, the feedback.
It's been by far more than I ever expected. Yeah. Honestly.
I can't say enough. And again, there's no chance of me getting punched in the face anymore because of you guys. If this thing, again, Fighting the Kid 3D, we put ourselves out there. This is basically the first step saying, hey man, we can do TV. And if this would have failed, that I'm telling you, man, you only get one shot at this thing. You get one shot going, here we are on camera, we're good together. Do you guys like it? Let's say it bombed. We're doing podcasts until we're blue in the face. Yeah. There's no more TV deals. So for me, man, I just I can't thank the fans enough. I love you guys.
Yeah, man.
Forever indebted to you guys.
So true.
What else you got, Ev?
Follow up on that. What was your favorite episode of 3D? And are we going to see a new season soon?
I don't know.
Favorite episode?
Honestly, I don't know. Dude.
I know which one's your favorite. Sitcom. You loved sitcom.
I loved it, but it's not my favorite.
Oh, really?
Watching it, like the Apache to me.
The Apache's
like,
up there.
I also love Just Say No, probably.
I like Therapy.
You
know why I like Therapy?
You cracked me up.
Us.
You made me laugh really hard in 2 sketches, especially Therapy and Bryan Teaches Brendan to Act with your acting. Like when you're in that room with
getting
Mitch,
electrocuted, shot and electrocuted.
But it was in your humiliation. It was.
My God.
See, I don't think people realize that you've never done any acting, and I've had many people who I know call me and talk about how surprised they are at how good your acting was, and I got to say, I'm a little blown away with how well you acted, having never acted before. And when I say well, I mean it was like you weren't acting, and that's very fucking
playing
difficult
myself
thing.
Though.
Dude, I don't know about that. You had some challenging.
Like Morgan Freeman.
You had some challenging shit to do, man.
I played the exact same role.
It's not easy.
No, that's the trick.
But you didn't.
What everybody does. Like Jim
But you
Carrey's
didn't.
Jim Carrey.
Rocks the rock. And
right.
No. But you improvised. You came up with
sure.
shit. I mean, the stuff that you did with when he asked you to make me.
That's
into
all
an
improv.
Animal.
The therapy's all improv.
All improv.
We went in with no script. Nothing.
You were pissed off at me. And I was like, well, that's not something that you can teach. I've been in acting classes for years. I've seen people spend thousands of dollars over years try to do exactly what you did, and guess what? They fucking can't. So in some ways, you either have the timing or you don't. And you've shown me some shit with stand-up. This is the other thing that really shocked me, and I talked to you about this before. I'm making Brendan do stand-up with our live shows. I make him get up there, dude, in front of 900 people. He's never done it. 900 people. I go out there and do 10 minutes. Now think about that, 900 people. And he goes out there, and not only does he make them laugh, he's adding shit in the moment, reacting to the audience. You can't teach that. So anyway, it's fucking.
We got to get Joe Schilling in one of the next episodes. Be funny to have him in there,
dude.
I'm doing it.
Be funny as fuck.
Let me know.
With that voice.
Yes.
Whooping people's asses.
Is my voice that
do me a favor.
deal, huh?
Do me a favor. Just I want you to look in the corner and go, why don't we go ahead and lose those pants and just move
well,
around.
no, I'm not writing that in.
Hey, man, I'm writing that in.
What else you got, Ev? I don't want to make Joe do that.
Cut to me with my hand down my pants like, Brian, what the fuck?
All right, next one we'll do. Joe, what is your athletic background?
My athletic background?
Like football, basketball, baseball as a kid, anything?
I played pretty much everything as a kid. I played soccer up until, I don't know, my mom missed sign-ups one year. And
missed sign-ups.
Everything,
Tight move, Mom.
Yeah, and then I played football 2 years. I did basketball all the way up through till like freshman year of high school. All of my sports stopped in high school when you actually had to try out for the team because I was interested in smoking cigarettes and girls at that point. And then 15, 16, I started kickboxing, and I've been doing that ever since. So.
You're taller than I thought you would be when I first met you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought you were
I'm the
like
shortest.
6
My
feet.
brother's 6'4", and my dad's 6'6".
Damn.
We come from a long line of basketball players. My dad played basketball for University of Kentucky.
Damn.
Whoa.
Shit. I
Whoa.
mean, that's
My brother,
doesn't get much bigger
my
than
brother
that.
was on like I think varsity basketball for Alter High School when he was a freshman. I think.
You come from athletic
Your
stock.
dad's
Yeah,
a baller.
Yeah.
Super baller.
Joe Schilling.
Shit. What else you got, Ev?
This is a random one. What
Last
is an
one.
obscure food that you guys have eaten that most people have never tried?
I got it.
I know what you're gonna say.
When
This weekend?
Yeah, this weekend we're in
Go ahead.
Chicago, and the waitress, this new restaurant. Shout out to Jesse Katz. His brother owns Duck Duck Goat, and
Chicago, best Chinese food in the world.
Yeah, I go, hey, what? We've never been here. What's something we can get? And I'm on this weird diet, so I can't eat like carbs and all this stuff.
Right.
She goes, the duck hearts are delicious. I went,
Duck hearts.
excuse me? She goes, the duck hearts. I went, what are they fucking, how big are they? She goes, they're the best thing on the menu. They bring these duck hearts.
Ooh.
They're pretty good.
We woofed them down. They're
Pretty good.
Yeah,
It was
they
a little
were-
weird eating duck heart, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
I actually had
How big is a duck heart?
dude, it was like, I mean, it's
about the size of a duck heart. Yeah.
The size of a Starburst. but like little fillets.
Maybe a little
They're like
bigger.
little
Does it come in
fillets.
like a 6-piece, or how does that?
No, it was like a straight up heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like filleted it.
Yeah.
There's just one. You got
Yeah,
one
I felt
duck
like a
heart?
real animal.
Wow.
Yeah. I ate the
cool.
fuck out of that duck heart. And I took on the duck spirit.
And then
So I have some of the duck spirit
The
in
old
me.
ducky duck?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well,
Now
that-
I float in water better. I know it's weird, but I
Makes
do.
sense.
And my little feet move around a lot.
How about I made that terrible joke and she didn't get it? I went, oh man, I love duck hearts. Do you have any frog hearts though? And she went, I think those are too small, honey. I went, no, I need a bunch of them like nerds. And I'll just dump them in my mouth. She's like, not here. All right, we'll take
Hey
the
man,
duck heart.
just
Yeah.
kidding around,
Takes
lady.
your duck heart
Just
very
trying to lighten the
seriously.
mood up, lady.
Frog
Have you ate
hearts.
any weird shit, Joe, or no? I'm sure you've traveled a lot, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Nothing really comes to mind. I guess in Thailand, on the beach, they bring like deep fried food or whatever, like to you on your
That's
chair
some
on the
shady
beach.
shit.
And it was, oh yeah, for sure. And there was like, I think it was like crawdads or like some little tiny ass little crabs. That there were.
And you ate them?
Yeah, it was like deep fried bugs.
Go ahead and
Something like
pass.
that. I mean, it was like potato chips kind of.
Really?
Three things-
Just some random guy on the beach?
Yeah, like and it was in Pattaya. You sit on the beach and there'll be just people trying to sell you everything from sunglasses to tattoos to fried food. And
Listen,
they'll
I'll
come
get
with,
a
like,
tattoo,
these
pair of
big things across
sunglasses,
their
and
back.
fried roaches.
They have like that thing across their back.
Oh, yeah.
and it'll be
Oh,
like-
yeah.
dude, a really bomb fried shit. Like,
Really?
really good.
3 things I will never eat: brains, tongue, and testicles. And
Ooh, I've had testicles.
Yep. Well, I was in a Lebanese restaurant.
It's not surprising, Brendan.
I've had some balls in my
I'm
mouth.
not surprised.
What kind of balls have you eaten?
Rocky Mountain oysters. I'm from Denver.
there you go.
Man. I'm from Colorado.
And those are bull balls.
They're bull balls
Yeah.
bulls got some bizzalls on them.
Yeah,
so
they slice 'em up.
They take those balls, they roll them out like
Yeah.
a nice piece of meat.
Yeah.
They roll it out, they deep fry it.
Yeah.
And then they give you some stuff to dump it in.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
I tried it once because my buddy ordered some.
Well, I was popping. I was in a Lebanese restaurant, and I was popping these delicious meatballs, little tiny meatballs, right in my mouth, and they were in yogurt and lemon. I mean, I was just like like you were eating like a bunch of milk duds.
Yeah.
They were goat balls. I was eating, and somebody
a
told me that
shitload
I
of
was
goat
eating,
balls?
and they were great, and they were the
I
best
feel
thing.
sick.
And I went, oh, those are goat balls, and that was I had a belly full of goat balls.
See, like I used to watch Fear Factor, like, dude, I'd fucking dominate that show until they get to the eating.
I would
Oh, why? Because
I
they-
physically can't do it.
Because they made women, or men and women, you could either drink horse semen or horse urine. And
I'll take the urine all day.
so would I, but I did a survey among women, the women that I know in my life. I'm not kidding. And I
they'd
said,
rather have the semen.
and all of them said, the semen.
Hey, you know
And
how I know
went,
you're a freak? That's what I'd say to the girl. You know how I know you're a real
Is
freak
it weird
in the
that it
sheets?
turned me on?
Because you like to swallow horse semen over horse urine.
For real.
That
I'll
might
take
be my first segue. Hey, this is stupid. Me and my friend are doing a little pull back here. You guys are beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey,
semen?
if you were
Yeah.
on Fear Factor, this is stupid.
Yeah,
Would
go
you
on. I
rather
love that
suck
show.
down the horse semen or urine?
horse semen.
Oh, okay, here's my number. I'm going to slide into those
Okay,
DMs.
you go urine?
Yes, that's disgusting.
I'm with you. I agree with you. So you're obviously not a freak. So all good.
That's a new survey on how freaky is the girl in the sheet.
So right. So true. That's the new
I
survey.
mean, we can end on that. I mean, it's just nothing get better than that. Joe Schilling.
Joe
Where can
Schilling.
they find you at, man? At Joe _Schilling.
Yeah, on Instagram or Joe Schilling 187 on Twitter.
And we'll blast it out, man. I can't thank you enough for coming in, brother.
Man.
Always supporting you, man.
You're the best
and then
brother.
for your fight, we're gonna blast it out, son.
Yeah, you gotta. We'll send you a link.
You guys coming to the fight or what?
Where's it at?
It's in LA. It's at Citizens Bank Arena.
You bet your
100%.
sweet ass for coming. I bet it'd be us two and Rogan. front row,
100%.
Let's do it.
Shouting our little hearts.
Aren't
out.
we going with Rogan to glory?
That's right. He's the one that. But is that?
That's May 13th or something, right? Yeah, we're there.
Saturday.
Oh, we're
Friday.
there.
Friday.
Oh, we're there.
Oh, we're there.
You better be.
we're 100% there.
Finally, Kid Freaks. We
Can't
are in
wait, bro.
Calusa Casino
I'll be nervous.
this Friday. This Friday, we're at the Calusa Casino. One night, one show only for all you Scrooge McDuck gold coin collecting freaks. NorCal. It's right outside Sacramento. Make sure you get there. Go to tfatk.com right now for your tickets. That bitch is almost sold out. We love you guys. This is the Fire Kid. We're out.